while I tell you about the time I was scammed out of $600 by a girl that still follows me on TikTok. Hey girl. So it was before I became a flight attendant. And before I became a flight attendant, right before I moved back to New York, I used to live in Atlanta. And I was living in Atlanta for 6 months. And around this time, I was working at Benihana in Buckhead. And I was working at this chiropractic company as a receptionist. And I was also like just doing little things around the office. So I really don't remember how I got into contact with this girl, but she works with really, really big influencers. And at the time, she was working with these really, really big influencers. And she had her own like production company. And she was looking for like an assistant at that time. She was about to do like a project for this really big influencer at the time. So I go to her interview at her place, and she's interviewing for like production assistant. She's interviewing for assistants. So production assistant, yeah. I told her that I have 2 jobs. And she's telling me that she needs me to be available for certain days. And I told her if I'm going to be available to her for those days, I'm going to require, I can't work those days. I told her I can't work those days. And she said, I'll just pay you whatever that you're not going to make those days, or I'm going to be using you. So I'll just pay you whatever you're missing out on. So I was like, roughly for those 2 days, like I'm going to need or was it 2 days or that week? I was like, I'm going to need $700. It might have been that week, honestly. So we agreed on a price. And we just started working with each other. So mind you, I would go to this girl's house so often. I would be driving her car for her. Like I was literally her assistant. Mind you, this is the day that I can tell you guys about the day that I met the big influencer, right? The big influencer that we're working on his project. He's really well known on this app and on Instagram. And when he met me, he was like, oh, like, you look familiar. But like, I feel like I get along with everybody. So I got along with him. I got along with his team. And I low-key felt like she didn't like that. She didn't like how, like, I kind of wasn't just quiet. Like, I was talking to everybody. Like, I was getting to know everybody. And also because this is something I like to do anyways. Create content. Like, just because you're a big influencer and you have more followers than me, I'm not going to be, like, thinking that, oh, I can't talk to them. Like, I'm going to talk to you. Especially if you seem approachable. Especially if you seem like you're inviting. I really feel like this girl would try to sun me, like, around people. And I feel like I've learned that if you are around, like, I've had girlfriends that try to do that when we're around people. They try to sun me. They try to little sis me, but, like, not in an endearing way. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And I guess she was doing that because I was her assistant. And she would be like, oh, you're like my assistant, like how Kim Kardashian was Paris Hilton's assistant, like, back in the day. And I'm like, okay, yeah, or, like, whatever. There was this one day that she was kind of odd. There was this one day I was like driving for her and I was chewing because I was like eating something, and she was like, I hate when people chew. And she was like, I've kicked people out my car before for chewing. And I was just like, okay. And I was like still eating, and she was like, no, seriously, like I have, like I don't like it. Like, and I was just like, what the there was a time where I was like with her and her mom. Her mom was another oddball. Like, I'm in the car with her. Her mom was like, yeah, back in my day, I used to be a model. You're pretty, but like, models can't have acne. And at the time, like, I had really bad acne. And you know how, like, if somebody's kind of rude to you, if like somebody's people's mean
they hating hard
to you or rude to you in front of you, like when you're around, that kind of means that they talk shit about you when you're not around. So it was giving those vibes. But back then I really wasn't really picking up on that. And I was real timid back then. Like, not timid to the point where I won't talk to people, but timid where like, I was very non-confrontational. And I'm still very non-confrontational. I've always been non-confrontational, but I just feel like I speak up for myself these days. Yeah, her mom said that. In my head, I'm like, you used to be a model. You really could have fooled me. But anyways, I'm not even going to go there. Come the day of the shoot, right? Come the day of the actual shoot for this big influencer. I'm working all day. I am literally in charge of like all the people that's working for her on set. I'm literally doing what a production assistant should do. And this is my first time ever really being a production assistant. So like, I'm helping out. I'm driving places when she needs me to drive places. Like, I'm literally helping out as best as I could. I worked for her the entire time that she needed me to work for her. And mind you, but there was a point where like me and this girl, we were like getting along. Like there was a point where we were like getting along. I really did think that like she was my friend. And I was talking to this guy at the time, and he would tell me, like, you got to be careful with people in Atlanta because they'll use you. Like, they really will try to use you. So, you know, I'm waiting to get paid. I'm not getting paid yet. Mind you, this is my first time ever really working with somebody who's like connected to like a big influencer, you know? So she's like, yeah, you're gonna get paid. I haven't even got paid yet. It's not like I'm asking you to pay me like $3,000, $4,000. Like, you know, okay, that's gonna take like a month maybe. Okay, cool. Like those take a while to get here. I mean, I've had brands pay me within 2 weeks. She was telling me she was paying me. The brand that she was working with wasn't gonna pay me. She was paying me, right? Because I was working for her, not for the brand. She starts getting a little bit like distant. I'm asking her to pay me. I'm asking her to pay me. She's acting a little bit like weird now, right? So I do remember there was this one time I went with her. We were around that certain influencer and his people, like his friends. And I don't know if she felt away because I heard him say like, oh, your assistant, like, I need your assistant. Like, I heard him say some like slick shit like that. Obviously, I act like I didn't hear it. Like, I really paid that no mind, you know? But I had got close with one of the influencer's friends. Like, one of the people on his team, I got really close with him. Like, I was going through a lot at that time. I was living by myself for the first time, like, really, in another state that I'm not familiar with. And I got close with one of the guys on the team, but, like, not in a romantic way. Like, he was just a very kind person. Mind you, I feel like this was after the actual, like, thing I was hired for. You know, I still was in the circle kind of like all these people that I was introduced to. Do you know that this girl went and drafted up, like she went and typed up a contract that she presented me and expected me to sign, and this is what the contract said. So the contract, it had like some like generic things, like I don't even remember.
You can't go nowhere else. You can't be an assistant for nobody else ever in life.
I really don't even remember everything that it said, but one thing I do remember that it said, it was like basically you're not to have any romantic relationships with anybody on the team until 6 months after you stopped working with me. Her. So like she was giving me a contract for her production company saying that like I have to sign that I'm not able to have any romantic relationships with anyone she introduces me to until 6 months after I finish that project.
You ain't even paid me yet.
When I read that, I don't know too much about contracts, but I was like, what? I was like, yo, I've never heard of something like this. Like, I'm gonna be really honest with you. And mind you, at the time I was dating someone. At the time I was dating someone. So, and she knew that. Like, she knew I was dating someone. So she wrote that up because she thought I was having a little situation with this influencer guy I was telling y'all about. We were just really cool. We were just becoming friends. But I just felt so disrespected and I felt so tried that I was like, I'm not signing this because this is weird. And she was like, why not? And I was like, because this is weird. Like, I'm not signing this. And she would be like, you know, I need you to sign this. I need you to sign this. Like, for me to pay you, I need you to sign this. Which, again, I don't know much about contracts. And at that time, I really wasn't posting content as consistently as I am now. I wasn't doing my flight attendant content and all that stuff. I'm just like, this don't seem right. My gut is telling me this is not right. Like, you're being weird. So now she's mad at me, right? Now she's mad. She's distancing herself. So we go from like, I'm going to her house every day. I'm helping out with things in her house, helping her find outfits for things. Like, you know, it goes from me being her assistant to like, I'm actually building a friendship with this girl to like, now she's mad at me because I won't sign her contract for her. I don't know if she had a crush on this guy or whatever, but it was just odd. So she stops inviting me around and that's cool and everything. We don't have to be friends, but you haven't paid me. So at this point, I'm blowing up her phone. I'm blowing up her phone. I am. You haven't paid me my money. I've worked for you already. You want me to sign this weird contract. You're literally telling me you're not going to send me my money unless I sign this weird contract that I'm not signing because what the hell? Like, I don't care. I'm not signing that contract. That was very odd of you. That was very peculiar. I see this girl going to concerts. Like, I see her out talking about she got this, she got that. Like, she's spending money. So I'm like, where's my money? I think it was one day that me and her were going back and forth through text. And I'm basically like telling her like, it's really messed up that I work for you, not paying me my money, da 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 da. And she's like, no, it's really, really weird how you won't sign that contract. And the fact that you won't sign that contract, I'm gonna figure it out. Like, I might not know. She was like, I might not know now, but I bet you I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. And in my head, I'm like, yo, you're crazy. Like, is this how y'all move in the South? Like, I was literally like, I'm not from the South. I was a New Yorker living in Atlanta, but she just threw me off. And she was like, and honestly, I don't know what I said to her, but she was like, and I don't do too well with threats. She was like, I'll have my legal team reach out to you. She was like, because I've sued people before, so I don't care to sue you. Something like that. Basically, the girl was saying she was gonna sue me for, I don't know what she was gonna sue me for, but she said she was gonna sue me. I don't know what I said to get her that mad, but she was mad. I didn't speak to her since. Matter of fact, we was mid-argument. She was mid-type and I blocked her. Boom. That's my favorite thing to do. You pissing me off? I'm gonna wait till those 3 dots come up. Boom, you're blocked. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna cut my losses. She didn't pay me. She basically, I worked for free. Didn't go to work for free. Basically, like, I took a citizen. It is what it is. I ended up moving from Atlanta. Fast forward a year later, right? That guy, the influencer guy, the one that we ended up working on his set, he hits me up, he DMs me, he goes, you look so familiar. Like, where do I know you from? Like, why do you look so familiar? I'm like, yeah, I was a production assistant on your set. And then I was like, I was living in Atlanta, but I moved back to New York. And I was like, and it's so crazy because I never even got paid for that shoot. I was like, I didn't tell you or your team about it because I didn't want to cause any more drama. Do you know what this man said? He gonna say, oh, that's what it is. I'm like, what? What do you mean that's what it is? Like, I'm not asking you for money. I'm just letting you know the people who you had on your team don't matter, are dishonest. That was the first and last time I ever been a production assistant. First and last time I ever do a job without signing a contract first or something. She definitely took advantage of me. She took advantage of somebody that was new to all of this. She definitely took advantage of the fact that I didn't know anybody out there. Girl, I don't know. I don't know why she did that. She still follows me. I've seen her like my things still. Like, I don't know. But for me, it's not even about the money anymore. At that time it was. But it's just like, you guys just be very careful who you decide to trust, especially if you live in an area or you're in a new place where you don't know anybody, you know? You never know people's true intentions. Not everybody has the best intentions for you. Okay, so last week I told y'all my business about the time that I was scammed out of $600 by a girl that I met in Atlanta. Remember? So she texted me almost 4 years later. She texted me. I didn't even know that she still had my number. I thought she was blocked. So I'm gonna tell y'all my business, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna show you. So she says, posting on TikTok 4 years later rather than texting me seeing if I'm in a better space financially to pay is insane. I was a young business owner and I was waiting over my head trying to chase a dream. I didn't understand how to run a business at the time, and unfortunately people were affected by that. But majority of them, I was fortunate enough to be able to right my wrongs. I saw you moved when you came across my TikTok and followed because I saw you were a flight attendant and was genuinely happy. You look like you found something you like doing. Bashing my name and my business that I put years of blood, sweat, and tears into because I was young and didn't handle things properly instead of reaching out is so wrong to tear down what someone has built, especially on social media. The company has been closed down for months, and I don't even live in Atlanta, but again, that's very wrong, and I'd appreciate it if you take the video down. And she said, if you want me to send the video again, I will. I mean, she was...
Man, where the fuck my money at? Fuck is you talking about? I don't want to hear all this bullshit. Where the fuck my money at? I was young and all this. At the end of this motherfucking message, it better say, here's your $600-$700. What the fuck is she talking about? I don't want to hear this shit.
Like, if you want me to send the money again, I will. I don't know why she put again, because she never sent me the money to begin with. She was like, I'm not a bad person. I was just young and ignorant. Now that I've grown and I'm able to handle situations naturally and respectfully, how would you like to settle this? And this is what I said. I said, yes, I'm posting on my TikTok 4 years later because I can do whatever I want on my TikTok. I decided to tell a story time of my experience. Why would I text you when, 1, I don't even have your number saved. 2, you were blocked. I don't even know how that text went through. What does you being a new business owner and being way in over your head have to do with the way I was treated the entire time and not having sent me my money? You're saying you righted your wrongs with the people who were affected by your lack of knowledge on how to run a business, but the only reason you're texting me right now is because of the video I made 4 years later. If you really cared about righting those wrongs, you would have been sent those funds years ago. You've been following you've been following me. Oh, you've been following me up until recently because of the video. So it's not like you forgot about me. Meaning like you just recently unfollowed me because the video that you saw come across your TL or someone tagged you in. Whether, I don't know how you came across the video, but you came across it and that's why you unfollowed me. Not once did I bash your business. And I didn't. I didn't bash her business, and not once did I bash your business. I told my experience and I told the truth, and honestly, I held back and I kept it real cute. It's not my fault that people were investigating and found out who you were. Hold on. Yeah, it's not my fault that people were investigators and found out who you were or like who I was talking about. You being young had nothing to do with how you treated me, handled the situation, and not once in your entire text did you apologize or take accountability. You didn't even address that bogus contract you try to make me sign. You literally withheld my funds wrongfully, and all I'm seeing are excuses. I will not be taking down my video talking about my experience, and you can keep I can't read it right now because of the recording thing, but I basically told she could keep the money because I already been blessed. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know if she's trying to threaten me, again, like, how she tried to do it with the contract last time, and she said she was gonna sue me. But she says, no problem, I was taking accountability and finding the best way to deal with this, which is communication. I'm almost 30 now. Okay, so am I. My text was nothing but sincere and genuine. But again, you still have not apologized. Seems like you are just holding on to it and going to continue to be angry. You said my name. I never said her name. She said, you said my name in the comments and our screenshot shows my name. If I report the video for bullying and harassment since my personal info is being leaked, I didn't leak your personal info. And I'm receiving death threats. Show me the proof. Like, who's sending you death threats? And if any of my first of all, my supporters don't do that. Like, that's corny. Most of my supporters, my demographic is like mid-20s, mid to late 20s, early 30s. And they're here up here. Nobody's sending you death threats. I have some younger followers, but even then, like, come on now. Show me the death threats. I tried to communicate and give you a payment so this could come to an end. But you are choosing to publicly shame me. I'm just telling my story, girl. I'm not shaming you. Oh yeah, she goes, she said, we'll have to move forward with the next steps. So I basically told her, do whatever you feel called to do. Then she sent me a screenshot of my video. Like, I don't know what I put in my video. I took my time to edit it. Clearly I forgot to like scribble out her second name. But am I going to delete my video? No, I'm not deleting my video. I was telling my experience, talking about what I went through. Hopefully I have viewers that can learn from my mistakes. Because, I grew up very sheltered. I grew up being, I was kind of really naive in my like early 20s. I'm 28 now. I was very naive, especially when I like first moved out of my house. I realized that a lot of people weren't raised with the same morals that you were raised with. People aren't raised the same way that you were raised. So a lot of people don't, really stand on the same principles that you do. So I had to learn these lessons. So yes, I'm going to speak about my experiences on my TikTok. And if you don't like it, you can do exactly what you did and unfollow me.
Hey, y'all heard it. I agree with her, man. She should have sent that girl her damn money. Like, my money should have been sent when these messages was, you feel me? Like, fuck is you talking about? I don't want to hear about no being young and all that shit. Send me my fucking money. That was wrong for what you did. You tried to make me sign a contract. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you stupid? Now that it is crazy how people done found that girl. That's crazy, boy. The internet will find some shit, won't they? But I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rock with me, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the story time. Make sure y'all smash that like button on your way out. And I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. It's your boy Ray Big Play. I'm out of here today.